put me on the news dais during the broadcast. And I think the most important thing that's resulted in growing up around it is the comfort level, that I feel very, very comfortable on a set.
During those years, I knew a young man. We became very close friends. He was as common a man as I've ever known. He wanted to be in the moving picture business like I did, and we used to hang out together, go to coffee shops and talk about our future. I mean, he loved Rob. Rob was like his kid. His name was Steve Cannell.
By the way, Steve Cannell was just one of Dad's buds. I didn't know that he had money. I didn't know that he was, even into my teens, I didn't know who he was. He was just sort of like Uncle Steve.
One day I got a call from Steven. He says, I'm doing a series called Baba Black Sheep. It's about World War II in the South Pacific, Pappy Boynton. And so he said, you've done a lot of documentaries and news and all. Yeah. He said, well, we're looking for somebody that can take our World War II footage and our second unit aerial stuff and kind of mold it into pieces that we would use and incorporate. And I said, Stephen, if I ever get inside these gates working, I'll never leave this business. I never have. I started as associate producer and then a producer. And on The Incredible Hulk, I could see that I wanted to direct. Then I went on from there to do a lot of directing, Greatest American Hero, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and the team did a lot of television shows.
I think I was 11, and a bunch of the guys on my block, we all worked down at the studio. I went down there and worked for $1 an hour, which was pretty cheap, by the way.
You never talked to me about that, Rob.
60 hours a week and 60 bucks in your pocket.
You learned a lot.
I did. I was told, you know, you can start, but you're starting at the bottom.
I was shooting, and I remember, I think the first thing was we need to move a shiny board. And I had crew people, I had experienced people with me as well. And I said, you know, I'm looking out here. I said, can we get that shiny board moved over here? And I kind of glanced over my shoulder, and Rob ran right past the guys who did it for a living, and he did the adjustment. He's always been that way as a young man, and now a more mature young man.
I don't remember doing that.
Yeah,
it sounds good.
But
is that true?
Yeah,
is that a true story?
That's a true story.
Good one.
It's a true story, and I've always admired the way he runs towards something. He doesn't avoid it. He doesn't stand back and let somebody else do it. He jumps at it. It's a great character for a man.
Sometimes right on my face.
Well, yeah,
you know?
But then you get up and run again.
Growing up on a set, it's helpful because then I know when I'm on set, I know what everybody's job is. And I can also appreciate how important everybody is and also know when it's not going well because I know what's supposed to be happening. Working with Dad, I knew he personified the director, which is you need to be prepared so you know what you're doing, so when you're executing, you're shooting accurately and getting the best possible footage. The other version of it is if you're not sure what you're doing, sound like you know what you're doing. So, but it's the same voice. And I never knew if he did or didn't know what he was doing, but I just knew that was what a director was supposed to be like. And I think the crew wants to know that you have a point of view and a very clear path through the day and through the scene and through what the characters are supposed to be doing. But if there's moments where you're not sure, just appear like you do.
Now, Andy and Mark, we should play the same courtesy on this side. So reach up, Mark, and reach up Andy a little bit. Yeah.
Rob loves what he does, and he's quite lovely to work with as an actor because he is so passionate. And when the scene is done well, I mean, you'll always hear, God, Brent, you know, off in the corner.
As long as you can keep up, we're going to have a good day today.
We have a lot of Bowmans running around. We have Stephen Bowman in our post-production division.
My dad was really a pivotal figure in my life, not just because he's my dad, but because of an example of someone who to be in an industry, someone who is very straightforward, honest, and shows the integrity, the values that were instilled into both Rob and I.
He's a good boy. They're both good boys.
I think for The Blue Butterfly, Chuck brought a couple hundred hours of TV experience. I think he brought a perspective of history.
It really makes you feel good to see someone like Chuck step behind the camera and be so excited with his level of experience and the history he has in his business.
For all the first-time directors we had, or guys who were, you know, their first shot at a castle, none of them directed what ended up being a very high-concept episode. And so, you know, it worked out for the best. A lot of people say that's their favorite episode of the season.
This one's special. You know it?
Noah. I'm looking at her.
Thank you, Nathan.